if we're looking at what Qui-Gon does well and what he doesn't do well, I bring us to my most valuable takeaway from the Phantom Menace movie is that fear can become dangerous when people suppress it instead of understanding it, and that emotionally isolating anybody, especially a child, when they're feeling a particular strong emotion is never helpful. So the scene that gets it for me is obviously Qui-Gon tells Anakin that he is gifted. You have Jedi reflexes. No human can pod race like you can. Enamoring him to be able to do this feat of absolute greatness, which is win the pod race in Boonta Eve. So he encourages that ability for him. And yes, that's good in a child. But when you're talking about a gifted child like Anakin would be, there is this thing called invulnerability bias. And that means that a child that is encouraged to do these awesome things and told that they're special to the point of being superior to everybody else, they end up diving into these risk-taking strategies where they need to believe, or they do believe, that they can win against impossible odds and they can save the adults around them. And that has detrimental effects to them as they grow up into an adult if that is exacerbated and facilitated. Because success can occur despite the impossible odds. And that is exactly what happens with the pod race. He has these insurmountable odds. He's got a pod racing vehicle that is like insufficient in terms of everybody else's vehicle, but due to his skill and due to his alignment with the Force, he's able to win that and therefore save his friends. So he believes then that if I'm powerful enough, I can stop bad things from happening. And that is ingrained because Qui-Gon puts that belief in him to start with and then doesn't co-regulate with him afterwards to say, yeah, this was great, but let's temper our expectations. Also, I'm freeing you from your mother. I'm taking you away, and now I'm going to train you to be a Jedi. So not only are you special and you can change the fate of the world, but I'm going to teach you to do that even more. And then as his progression goes on, he obviously loses Qui-Gon, but Anakin still believes in those fundamental things where if I'm powerful enough, I can stop bad things from happening. And what's the bad thing that happens to him in the Attack of the Clones?
His mother.
He can't save his mother. And when he can't do something that he believes that he could, and he's told all his life that he's so great and he's so powerful and he can change all these things, it sends him into an uncontrollable spiral. And as a result of that uncontrollable spiral, he feels lost for the first time. And when he feels lost for the first time, he fears feeling that again. And then in Revenge of the Sith, why does he turn to the dark side? Because he wants to prevent himself from feeling that loss at the hands of his wife, Padme. Because connection, love, and possession is what apparently leads to the dark side because he has that fear of loss. All ingrained in him because he's told from the age of 9 that he is a special boy with special powers and he has saved an entire planet of Naboo, not once with the pod race to get their queen back, but twice in the Naboo cruiser at the end to blow up the Trade Federation ship. So he has this invulnerability bias and the knowledge that he's gifted. And he also has an advocate to talk to adults to say, no, he is a special boy and I'm going to train him to be a Jedi. And Qui-Gon puts that ideal in his head.
But yeah, fundamentally you are correct. And I think it is because of the fact that, because Qui-Gon said these things initially, yes, you are special, but, and then he goes to Obi-Wan thinking, yeah, I'm special, I can do a lot of things, becomes like this arrogant sort of Padawan, sort of a bit like what Obi-Wan was, but not so much in a follow the rules logic sort of way, in a more of an arrogant, I'm really cool, I was always told I was going to be cool and I'm going to be the raddest Jedi ever. That's how Obi-Wan and Anakin are different in their arrogance. Just because you are strong in the Force, just because Qui-Gon said that there's a possibility that you could be the chosen one, doesn't mean it's true. Yeah. Or like you still gotta like realize that you can't fix everything.
Well, yeah, there are limits to your power. I think you could look at it in parallel. Anakin's journey in terms of being a special force-wielding chosen one can be looked at in parallel with gifted children in terms of athletes or even child stars. And you can see how some of them grow up to the point where they're very emotionally fragile and under various pressure situations and conditions, they tend to fail or don't have the capability or the tools to
process
emotional dysregulation.